the most of the biotechnological applications or most of the things, they have been very recently during the last 20 years, they have been realized. And after 1970, you will find that the greater emphasis on the biotechnological applications has been given. Although most of the techniques, most of the principles of the biotechnology, they are known to human civilization since very long time. It's ancient time. But the only question is that now we have realized that this is the time when we should use the biotechnology for the solution of the problems of life. In why biotechnology, the most important thing I would like to mention here before I start the lecture or before I start my interaction, because I have seen that the participants, they are all teachers and educators. So they are already having the background of the biotechnology. So I will not go into the details of the basic principles. I will just focus on the ideas and the applications, or what the scientists are thinking and how the biotechnology will come in 2050. That I will focus only on those type of the things. So the question is that if we just go back to the ancient time, we will find that there were numerous applications of biotechnology. But now in the modern time, what has been done, that the genetic engineering or DNA or RNA or protein or proteomics or genomics or these or bioinformatics, these fascinating words, they have made the biotechnology many times difficult to a student to understand. But it is not the case. Biotechnology is very simple. Extremely simple branch of the life science. And when I will go through, then you will realize that you can become a biotechnologist by a training in basic microbiology. And basic microbiology, that is the culture of the microbial cells. Today in the morning, Dr. Rao was speaking about the genomics, and he was speaking about the vaccine DNA, RNA, or the nucleic acid vaccines. So all these principles, they are known since long. The only thing is that the applications, they were delayed, and they were realized now, and then they have been implemented. Similarly, in the agriculture also, the formation of the new varieties, new crops, new species, new biomass, and new product. This is also wrong. If we see the origin of life, we will find that how the life originated. The people or the scientists are of the opinion that the earliest Earth, it was a huge warm surface, and from that, the first organic molecule which might have been originated, that might have been DNA, or from DNA then the RNA and the proteins. Although still there is a controversy that which of these came first. But if you see that even today in the lab, the amino acids, they can be created, and from the amino acids, then the other things have been created. Nucleic acid has been created, and life has been created. So the biotechnological application, that the formation of the new species, formation of the new life, the entire origin of the life is the formation of the new species. The change in the climate. So also now the climate is changing. The life is changing. The things are changing. And that is why now the application of the biotechnology has been realized. So before I start, I would like to share my PPT with you people. I think that it is it visible?
Not yet, sir. Please
Not
share.
yet. Okay, so just a minute. Let me go. Now I think it should be visible.
Yes, sir. Please put it on
Yes.
slideshow, sir.
Yes. Slideshow.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Fine, sir. Yeah.
Fine. It is visible. I'm not visible to you.
Yes, sir. Sometimes
Okay.
it
No,
happens, sir.
no problem. I will try to manage. So this is my institute, Shobit Institute of Engineering and Technology, a beautiful green campus you are seeing over here, the buildings. Now I start from here itself. You see these long aerial buildings in the background also you will find. Do you think that this is a eco-friendly environment? If I ask the AICT, UGC, or the normal persons, they will say that this is a beautiful green lawn, beautiful plants, beautiful greenery, and all this and that. Isn't it? But as a environmentalist, I don't agree. I am also the sectional president of the Environmental Science of the Indian Science Congress. Why I don't agree? You will find that these are the vertical developments. And this is now the horizontal, all green, but this is horizontal. And it is not eco-friendly. The amount of the carbon dioxide, amount of the pollutants, amount of the air, what is being consumed by the people in the aerial space, that amount of the oxygen is not liberated from this green area. So the development, what is being called at present, that is you make a beautiful lawns and beautiful. I have tried to develop these trees and all these things, and behind this also this. But if I erect all these trees here, then the buildings, all these will hide. So the question is that what we are going to do? We are degrading the environment. We are degrading the ecosystem, and the human as a whole, you will find that as a whole, the human is parasite on the ecosystem completely. We are consuming everything from the environment, everything. And what we are giving to the environment? Nothing. Carbon dioxide, pollutants, and our comfortable life is liberating so many e-waste, so much things which are creating the havoc in the environment, and the microbes are confused. Microbes are thinking that what to do, how to recycle it. Now, if you see the recycling of the matter is the most important thing. Photosynthesis is one thing, that is the synthesizing ability of the nature. But the recycling of the matter, that is the going back to the earth, is equally important. If the things will not go back to the earth, to the ecosystem, then what will happen? That the ecosystem will be disturbed. So the biotechnology, what it will help in 2050, the biotechnology will help like this, that the many of the processes on which we are at present dependent, or the e-waste or the electronic gadgets, these electronic gadgets are going to be converted into the biosensors. You will find that there will be a day you are having the pen drive, you are having the so many things, the electronic items which contain the informations in 1 TB, 2 TB, 4, 8, 10, or something like that, or the entire data of the world. You will find that this entire data of the world, one day it will be collected in a one cup. The DNA in 2021, just last month, I was reading a news an article in Nature in May 2021, and they have predicted that the cells, the DNA which is containing this DNA, will be able to store the information what we are storing in the computer or in the chips or on the electronic material. Now this information will be stored in the DNA, and the DNA will be able to multiply. So the entire biomass, entire genetical composition of the biosphere, it will fit into the one cup, just one cup. That is That is the prediction of the scientists in 2050, what they think that now in Australia in 2020, they have been able to get some of the cells, the DNA from some of the cells, and this DNA is containing the photographs, what we are storing on this laptop or computer on, and these photographs are being stored in the DNA, and whenever they want to multiply, they will multiply it very fast, very quick, and they will keep the one single tube, very small tube or very Eppendorf tube in the pocket, and this Eppendorf tube in the pocket, it will contain large amount of data which can be stored, which is about the India as a whole, the big data. So this is that what is going to happen in 2050. In 2050, the 2050 is going to be a science, is going to be a science of life science, I will say it. Now the scientists, they are predicting that there will be a leaf. The Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, they have already synthesized an artificial leaf. And this artificial leaf will be incorporated with the cuttlefish DNA particles, and the cells will flourish, and cells will be used for writing. Now we are using the white paper for writing the script, for writing the things. Now there will be a time when the leaf will be used, and on the leaf the material will be written, and this will be stored, this will be multiplied, and this can be stored for 50, 60, 100 years. And when the life of this leaf will end, then it will be biodegraded. It will be automatically. So the biotechnology is going to solve the problems of this pollution, solve problems of this e-waste, problems of this nuclear waste, and we will have to focus, we will have to redesign all the things. Now we are learning the big data science, we are learning artificial intelligence, we are learning robotics, we are learning this. Maybe that after 20 years, we will have to learn something else. The cells, the biological cells. If you see, many times what happens that the people think that there is no cost of the life of the human. The single hair, it contains so much genetic material that it will be difficult. If I give you 10 lakh rupees and I ask you that you synthesize the one hair in the lab, it will be difficult for you. So your body is very precious. Your biological, every cell, single cell of the E. coli, single cell of a bacterium is very expensive. It contains tens of thousands of genes, and these genes, when you start synthesizing the lab, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, and the bacterial cell will multiply within 20 minutes. It will produce its own. So the nature is so fast, nature is so complicated, and nature is so meticulous that it is difficult to understand. So what these type of the principles, now the scientists, biotechnologists are thinking about, they are bringing it, all these principles, basically they are known. The only thing is that we have to make their application part, and the application part is biotechnology. If you see, just we will find that all lines of work by which products are produced from raw material with the aid of the living things. This is the earliest definition. Who introduced the term biotechnology? Carl Erecke. Erecke, who introduced the term biotechnology, he gave this definition. That all lines of the work. Biotechnology, the another definition, biotechnology is the use of the living system and organisms to develop or make useful products. You will find this definition in most of the books of the BSc or PG. Any technological application that uses biological system, this is another definition. Another very important definition, the integration of natural science in organisms, cells, parts thereof, and molecular analogs or for products and services. This is the definition which is generally used by the European Federation of Biotechnology. The modern molecular biologists, they have defined in their own way. Botanists, they have defined in their own way. Geologists in their own way. Environmental scientists. There is several definitions. You will find a large number of definitions of the biotechnology. But in my opinion, my biotechnology application is the technological applications of biological process for making money. This is my simple definition. What I say, that any biological process which can make money, that is the biotechnology. Simple definition. Now, the population. You are seeing that now at present we are 7.8 billion population of the world. And you will find that the yearly change, you will find 1.1%. In 2025, you expect that it will be this population, and by 2050 it will be about around 10 billion population, and the percent year change, it will be about 0.53%. That is what the scientists they have predicted. Now for this 10 billion population, we will need the huge number of the houses, huge number of the industries, huge number of these things. But where will be the solution? The solution will lie in the biotechnology, because by that time maybe that the agricultural land will be less, and it will be difficult for us to produce so much of the food material to feed the 10 billion population on this earth. And you will find that human constitute only 0.01% of the biomass on this earth. And this 0.01% biomass is disturbing the entire 99.99% of the biomass. That is, we are disturbing viruses, we are disturbing bacteria, we are disturbing insects, we are disturbing amphibians, reptiles, arthropods, mammals, forest, everything we are disturbing. These the man is at the last in the line of the evolution, and we are not contributing anything. We are invading in the habitat of the others, because our population is increasing, our biomass is increasing every year, and the biomass of the other animals, other plants, other living organisms, it is decreasing. So where we will go? Just to imagine that if we will keep on increasing the one type of the biomass and the other type of the biomass will keep on decreasing, then it will create an imbalance. So please be careful, and we have to support and propose that the population control is the only solution, only solution for the for preserving the environment. Now applications, if we see that, or you can say the 4 different types of the biotechnology. This is what the scientists say: green biotechnology, red biotechnology, blue biotechnology, and white biotechnology. Green biotechnology generally it is related to the agriculture, biomass, livestock, other domesticated animals. That is related to entire animal kingdom and all these things which are mainly for the production purpose. Red biotechnology is generally related with the medical science, discovery of antibiotics, biomolecules, drugs, new drugs, vaccine, gene therapy, gene editing, CRISPR. This is one of the recent technology, you know all very well, that the gene editing, which is going to make a big future in 2050. The CRISPR, that is by editing, because you know that now the entire human genome has been mapped. Even those parts of the DNA, they have been mapped, which were making the coiling, which were on the ends, and which were making some thread-like structure, and they were overlapping. So now those even those genes, they have been mapped, and 23,000 to 30,000 genes they have been mapped, and they have been find out, and they have been placed. And now the question is that now the people, they are, or the scientists, they are finding that they are trying to find out the biochemical process of each of the gene, and then the interaction of the genes, that can be predicted, and that can be bioinformatics has played a great role over here, because using this bioinformatics, we are able to predict the process, what it is going to. That in much of the time in the experimentation of the wet lab, it is being saved. So the bioinformatics, biotechnology, CRISPR technology, it is going to be in a big way when the gene editing will be done. That the that the now at present, you know that we are having the kundali. पंडित जी के पास हम जाते हैं और पंडित जी से कहते हैं सब ये जन्म कुंडली है. And after few years, after I think that this will be possible by 2030 itself, because there will be the gene kundali. When the child will be born, then the sum of the part of the child, that is from the fetus, when it is cut, that fetus small part that will be used for the DNA mapping, and the entire gene kundali of the child will be given, and the child will be told that during the lifespan how many genes and which of the genes may be defective, or which of the genes may become defective, and which may give rise to the which type of the disease. And then if something is predicted, then even at that time, then the gene can be edited, and the child can be predicted, and that is you can say the child, genetically engineered child, or child, whatever type of the child you wish, that will be produced. That is the science of the biotechnology, what it predicts. That is, you wish that you want a child good looking, you want a child with a good face, and all these things, or the good health, and all these things, they will be predicted, and the genes will be edited during the fertilization and in the zygote itself, and then the child will be predicted, and the bio-designed child, whatever type of the child you will find, such type of the technology it is going to be by 2050. Disease diagnosis will become easy, because the molecular techniques and the biosensors are going to play a great role. Because now maybe that you are seeing that now during this COVID-19, there were the sensors, but these are the electronic sensors. The electronic sensors, maybe sometimes you know that these are having the range, electronic sensors, and the sensitivity of the electronic sensors, many times it is less, and the biosensors, they are very accurate. So the scientists are developing the biosensors for many of the processes, because you know that the human brain or the entire body, it is containing so many sensors, a large amount of the sensors. So these things are being now diagnosed. These things are being mapped, and they are being analyzed, or bioanalyzed, I will say it, and then this will be that they will be produced in the lab, and will be the fertility assistance to the prenatal screening, that is designed babies. I was telling you that the designed babies can be produced using the CRISPR technology, fertility technology, prenatal screening, and so many things. Improved life expectancy. You know that now the scientists are of the view that a man can survive for 120 to 150 years. This is the genetical composition, or the genes, or the genome of the human genome is capable of surviving for 120 to 150 years. But under the normal circumstances, that is your lifestyle, environment, your feeding habits, and even your thoughts, positive thinking. If you go to the Vedic period, you will find that our forefathers, or Rishi Munis, they were living in the Himalayas, and they were living for 300, 400 years. So do you think was it possible? Yes, it was possible. In the scientists, they have been able to find that under certain conditions, when the oxidation of the cells, oxidation of the nucleic acid, if it is reduced, then the cells can survive for the more time. That is the aging process. So the many of these things, they are working, and the medical science, or the medical biotechnology, you will say, the medical biotechnology, it is going to play a great role. In this case, the CRISPR technology, vaccine, gene therapy, and disease diagnosis, and improved life expectancies, so many things these have been these are their basic principles are known to the scientists. Only the thing is that now, for example, if you want to have your complete human genome sequence, then it is costing $22,000 in the US. You can get it, but for a person in India, it is too much, or even for a US citizen, it is too much. Now the science is growing fast, and you can just see that when the coronavirus came, the diagnosis came, and initially the diagnosis, it was taking 8,000, 9,000, even 10,000 rupees in India, and now for 250 rupees, less than 250 rupees, you can get it diagnosed with the same technique, because the number of consumers have increased. So depending upon the number of consumers, depending upon the technology, the biotechnology will become a good technique in 2050, when the most of the people, they will be able to support, they will be able to use it. Blue biotechnology, it is the marine water and the fresh water and the groundwater technology. You will find this is also going to change the scenario, because if you will notice, you will find that 80%, 70 to 80% of the oxygen, it is coming from the marine water, the marine microbiology, marine biomass. 80% of the earth is still covered by the water, and so this is going to play a big role. In 2050, we are going to focus on the marine ecosystem. Still now, you will find that hardly 1% of the scientists are working in the marine ecosystem, which is covered by the 80% of the total earth. I wonder that why the people are not focusing on these type of the ecosystems, on the freshwater ecosystems, on the marine water ecosystem, or on the groundwater ecosystem, or in the ground, because these are going to make a big change. And there is a lot of opportunities, lot of things still to be investigated. Don't think that the science is full, or there is no scope for the investigation. Yes, there is still scope, but only the scope is that you have to apply your brain, you have to use your mind, you have to apply your skills, you have to think, you have to know about the basics of the life, and basic of the cell, or the philosophy of this life of the cell, and then only you will be able to do the things. White biotechnology, that the industrial production of the organic acids, inorganic molecules, microbial processes, genetical improvements of the industrial strains, bioethanol, food production. These several things I will try to touch some of the things. So these are the 4 categories of the biotechnology, you can say: green biotechnology, red biotechnology, blue biotechnology, and white biotechnology. What I have tried to distinguish, but although this is not a hard and fast, I have just tried to distinguish for the sake of convenience to understand. Now, this is one very important thought, that if you just imagine, from biotechnology you remove microbiology, what will be there? There is a very important question, that if we remove microbiology from biotechnology, then there is a question mark. What will be left? Nothing. It will be so the microbes are most important. A microbiologist can become a biotechnologist. Don't think that because I am propagating this microbiology because I'm a microbiologist. I'm working in microbiology since last 46 years. Even in my PG, I was having my special paper on microbiology in 1975, 73, 75. At that time, nobody was knowing the microbiology in India. And at that time, I had selected the microbiology. And I'm not a converted one. That is, most of the microbiologists and biotechnologists, you will find that either from zoology or botany or from chemistry, they have converted to the biotechnology, seeing the applications. I'm working from a very single cell. That is, now what I think, or what is my views about the microbes. Microbes, I designate them as God. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. These are the. Brahma is the originator of life. And if you think, you will find that the entire life has been originated from microbes. Whether they are archaeobacteria, bacteria, protists, viruses, or anything. The life, it came, is originated from the microbes. So the microbes are Brahma. Vishnu, sustainability of life. They provide you food, they provide you shelter, clothes, clean air, all materials required for life, happiness, also governed by the microbes. I will come later on this, because you will find that all the materials in this earth, they are degraded. Even you know that even the Pasteur said once, even the death is incomplete without microbes. There is one is the biological death and other is the physical death. Chiti jal pavak gagan samira panch tattva mil bana sharira. So these five elements will be converted only and only by the action of the microbes. And unless the body is converted into these five elements, into these five final elements, the body does not die. The man does not die. That is why in Hindu mythology we burn the body, so that the body get converted into these five basic elements. The microbes are responsible for the recycling of the matter, and if there is no recycling, there can be no sustainability of the life. So they are the Vishnu. Mahesh, destroyer life. You have already seen the COVID-19, coronavirus, the pandemic, all over the world. The microbes can destroy. If they become angry, like otherwise, they are just like शिव. जैसे शिव वरदान आपको देते रहते हैं, शिव माइक्रोब्स बहुत आसानी से आप कोई वरदान मांगिए, कुछ भी करिए, एंजाइम्स मांगिए, ऑर्गेनिक एसिड मांगिए, whatever the food मांगिए, सब everything whatever you want they will give you. But if you will misuse, then they will destroy. In the same way, because you destroyed the environment, you destroyed the biodiversity, you degraded the environment, that nature said, okay, now I am putting only one virus, COVID-19. If you just see that the total biomass of this COVID-19 coronavirus in the world, which has devastated all the life, all the things, it is only 50 gram. Only 50 gram. The one virus weighs is 80 attogram, and if you convert, and you will find that this is only 50 gram virus has destroyed the world, has forced the world to go under the shaken economy, under the non-active life for 1.5 years. Durga, goddess of power. Mitochondria, you know that the mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cells. So I designate that the mitochondria in the cell, they are the goddess. Saraswati, goddess of intelligence. Genes in the cytoplasm of the mother, they are responsible for the intelligence. So I say that the microbes are the god, and they are having the solution for all the problems. And in 2050, you will find that these microbes will provide everything to you. And microbiology is the mother of the life science. You can see that every branch of this life science, it is related with the microbe. Cell biology with the microbe, botany, zoology with the microbe, molecular biology with the microbe, biotechnology, genetics, everything in the single cell. वहीं से single cell से ही सारी की सारी चीजें आ रही हैं. So you will find that the microbiology is the mother. I don't say it father, I say mother, because mother is always non-controversial. Father can be controversial. So my view is that the microbiology is the mother of the life science. Biotechnology minus microbiology, this is a question for you people to think about, that what will be left. Now I come that from where this microbiology? Microbiology is a science. You will find that from ancient times, 9,000-year-old Chinese vessels, the scientists, they have found the remnants of the drink and the microbes, they have been found. They have been isolated. So the biotechnology, it was known since time immemorial. The fermented drink. You see that you will find you will find the reference of the formation of the curd, butter in Lord Krishna's time. Mahabharata is known. It is undisputed thing. And the Lord Krishna was using this butter, this gravitational force. So it was known to the people. It was known. Somras, Indian wine of the Vedic period. If you go to the ancient, whatever the literature you are having, and you will find the vinegar. There's so many things, so many processes. The biotechnology was known to the ancient people from the ancient time, and they were great scientists. They were not expressing the things in the scientific language like us now, but they were keen observer. They were so much keen observer that just by observation, they were doing the experiment, and the experiments without the help of the modern equipments like this, like today's modern equipments. They were such great scientists, they were such great observers that they were able to formulate the theory. They were able to formulate the principles. They were able to find out the applications. That is the true biotechnology, the true application of the science, true application of the principles of the life science. They were using it. So the Leeuwenhoek is considered as one of the pioneer of the microbiology. He studied, I will not go into the details, and the first systematic application of the microbiology or biotechnology or the fermentation technology or whatever you say, it is the Louis Pasteur. But do you think that the microbiology or the fermentation was not known before Louis Pasteur? No, it was known. It was known. It is only the propaganda of the scientific propaganda or the scientific literature propaganda, I will say it, that we are giving the credit to the Louis Pasteur. But there were the farmers, there were the laymen who were using this for this fermentation technique, and they were producing the vinegar, they were producing the alcohol, they were producing the somras, they were producing the fermented foods, and so many things they were using it. But the modern science or the modern science based on the explanations, you can say it, it has given the credit to Louis Pasteur. Anyway, now the microbiology in biotechnological production in 2050, innovation and startups necessary. This is these are the two slides where I will give you. I will take more time. You will find that the food and beverages, this is one of the most important industry, where you will find that in 2050 the major focus will be, because you know that the man always wants a good quality of the food and the good quality of the beverages. These are the two very important requirements, I can say it, or very important likings of a human. That is, everybody wants a good food and the good beverages. Beverages, they are very important for your nervous system, for your circulation of the blood, for the body relax, for the several things. You all know it very well. So the industrial biotechnology, it will focus on the fermented food. Fermented food, that is the several types, starting from the bread and ending up to the cheese and ending up to the so many things. You will find that a large variety of the food, fermented food, the industry will focus in 2050. And even the industry will focus on the microbial foods. I will come later on in this. So and another will be the alcoholic beverages, beer, wine, kumi, sake, whiskey, so many things, distilled liquor with different flavors, and all these things the different microbial processes, different microbes, not only the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, but the different other microbes, they will also be used. Not only the vinegar, wine, the grapes or the guava or this, the several food materials. Basically, I tell you that we are associated with one of the industry here in Sardana, and basically you can ferment any food material. You can produce the alcohol, you can produce the acetic acid from any of the juice, any of the fruit, any of the thing, anything you can take. So the acetobacter is such a powerful microbe. It is such a wonderful microbe, I will say, that it is having the capacity to eat on every type of the carbohydrate, every type of the carbon source, every type of the nitrogen source, every type of the thing. You will find that the microbes are such a wonderful organisms that they eat upon every material on this earth. Can you name me any material which is not degraded or which is not invaded by the microbes? No, there is no. Even many times you might be thinking that the nuclear waste or the nuclear, yes, even in this, the microbes, they have been found out. Even at a depth of the 100 kilometers, at a 99% of the carbon dioxide concentration, the microbes, they have been found. Microbes, they have been found in the space. Everywhere, even in the Antarctica, even in the hot springs, everywhere you will find them. And everywhere, what is the process? Mainly the process is the fermentation. They will ferment the material. They will ferment the whatever the fermentation is. You can just understand that is the breakdown of the complex material into the simple ones. They have to survive. They have to live. They will secrete the enzymes, and these enzymes will then decompose, will degrade, or will break down the complex material or the complex polymers into the simple monomers, and the monomers then will be utilized by the microbes. That is their process, their metabolism. So the scientist will focus on various types of the fermentation of the food. Fermentation industry will flourish very well, and it is the future that it will produce a variety of the food materials. If you just compare that before 1970, how many were the fermentation industries? How many different type of the food? Even in India, if I just think that many of the people were not knowing even the bread before 50 years, and now the bread is the common breakfast of the even a farmer. This bread which we buy from the market, that is the product of the Saccharomyces cerevisiae fermentation. So you will find the dosa, idlis, all these things. These are all the products of the fermentation. The enzyme technology, it is also going to be in a big way in the lifestyle maintenance. Enzymes, you will find enzymes are used in the paper industry, pulp industry, textile industry, in organic industry, in many of the industry, in the sugar industry. You name me any industry where the enzymes cannot be. The enzymes can be used, and they will be able to solve the many of the problems. So the second largest part in 2050, it will be the enzyme technology. The enzyme technology, that is the finding out of the new organisms, finding out of the new bacteria or new microbes, and finding out of their system, that what type of the enzymes they produce, and these enzymes now will be used for the production. And maybe by using the genetic engineering, maybe by changing the genetical composition of the microbes, because you know that the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Candida, Escherichia coli, these are such of the cells where you will find that the 90% of the biotechnological principles are being used. Why only these type of the cells? These are the fast growing cell. They can multiply within 20 minutes, and they can multiply and they can grow on the simple substrate, just on the simple carbohydrates. And the most important thing will be that now the pupil or the scientist will go towards the temperature loving, high temperature processes, because high temperature processes or at the high, for example, in case of the actinomycetes, they are having a great potential, or even the thermophilic bacteria, or actinobacteria, or these archaeobacteria, they are having the great role, because these microbes, thermophilic microbes, when they can be used in the industry, then the most important thing is that there are less chances of the contamination. In all the industries, they like to use the thermophilic microbes, thermophilic organisms, because the cooling cost much than the heating. That is also the one of the so the application of the, or the economics also plays the role over here. And moreover, the enzymes which are highly active at the higher temperature, their processes are high. Suppose an enzyme, because I was working when I was in Liverpool, then I was working on the Saccharomyces viridis and the Streptomyces thermoviolaceae. And then I had developed the process of the biobleaching, and the enzyme what I found from the Streptomyces thermoviolaceae, it was active at 70 degrees Celsius, and the actinomycete, it was growing at 55 degrees Celsius. So I was not worrying about the contamination. At 55 degrees Celsius temperature, even my cotton plug is loose, or I do not put the cotton plug and I just put on the rotary shaker, the actinomycete will grow, because if some of the microbes from the environment will come in that medium, then they will be eliminated. They will not grow. So at such a high temperature, and the enzyme, when it was active at 70 degrees Celsius, so without cooling the pulp, the enzyme could be given to the pulp for the pre-treatment. So the enzyme technology, particularly the high temperature loving enzymes, they are the future of the biotechnology. Metabolites and microorganisms, nutrition, and the drugs, because you know that the nutrition we need, the good quality of the nutrients, we need, and for the good quality of the nutrients, we will need the supplements, and for the supplement, they will come from the microbes, the drugs, amino acids, antibiotics, vaccines. As Dr. Rao had already discussed in the morning, so I will not focus. Biopharmaceuticals, bacterial polysaccharides. You know that Professor R.K. Saxena, he has successfully produced the microbial cellulose, which is one of the most important product. Cellulose we use every day as a biomass from the plants, and if the bacterial cellulose is produced, then we will not need the big forest. Just a small room will be enough to produce a large amount of the cellulose, and this can be given. So that will be the beauty of the biotechnology in the coming years. That if you can grow the organisms in the tray without contamination, that is high temperature, and with the small that is in the pure form, and these products can be used, and so that will be the future of the biotechnology. The biological fuel generation, you know that now now this fossil fuel, by 2050 this fossil fuel will end. So from where you will bring the fuel? From where? The electric car or electric energy, maybe that many times it may not be feasible. We will need the hybrid cars. So the ethanol, methanol, butanol, bioethanol, and so many things, microbial foods. So all these production biological fuel or the biofuel, we will have to depend upon the biotechnology. Algal oil from the algae, from the microbes, and even from the conversion of the cellulose into the glucose and then to the ethanol. So several processes, and the people are working on them. The microbial production, recovery of the petroleum, recovery of the many of the minerals, recovery of the many of the things from the soil, from the earth, by the enrichment technique, and so many things. You know that the uranium, the gold, the silver, and the several other several other minerals, they are being now collected through the help of the microbes. The special type of the microbes, they are put into the soil, and the soil, then these microbes, they bioaccumulate these minerals. They bioaccumulate, and these are harvested, and then these are known. So environmental biotechnology is good. It is going to be going to be in the big way in 2050. Water and the wastewater treatment, that will be the one of the most important thing, because the industrial development you cannot stop, and the wastewater is one of the most important problem of the pollution. And for that, the microbial technology or microbes will be the answer. Composting, landfilling, solid waste, biodegradation, bioremediation of the toxic materials, and hazardous waste, nuclear waste, e-waste, plastic, polythene. We are at present we are working in our lab in the for the degradation of the polythene, and we have found that some of the species of the Aspergillus are able to completely 100% degrade the polythene just within 3 weeks. So such type of the technology will be developed and will be used in the 2050. That the electronic waste, now this is electronic waste, you know, this is the most important problem that we are dumping at present in the sea. And in the sea water, you have seen that now every man, you are using this plastic bottle as a storage of the water. This plastic bottle is also injurious. Water is the best solvent. You do not know when this water was filled in this bottle, and the micro molecules of the plastic, they get dissolved in this plastic, and you will find that the many of the fish from the sea, they are having the plastic, they are having the molecules of the plastic, they have been detected. So now the scientists are of the opinion that the e-waste, we are spoiling the sea, we are spoiling the ocean. We are putting everything in the ocean, and the ocean is very rich in the microbes, and these are being converted, these are being degraded. But after the degradation, whatever the molecules are produced, these molecules are consumed by the by the fishes, by the mammals in the sea, and they get converted into the our food chain. That is a very dangerous. You know that many of the things, many of the technology in the science, they are coming in the system without thinking that what they will do after 30 years. That is the lobbies, you can say. I'm not saying this is the business lobby. Business lobby sponsored project, they change our mind. And the electronic channels, the advertisement on the electronic channels are responsible for the degradation of the entire system. They are controlling the entire system. They are not allowing the right thing to come to the consumer. They are propagating only the business agenda. And the best example, you know, that when this microwave oven came in the market in 1980s, then every company, every electronic channel, every scientific journal, every research paper was saying that the microwave ovens are very good for health, this, that. And now what happens? That now everything that they are injurious, and the Japan has destroyed all microwave industries. They have finished, they have ended. Now similarly, the RO water, it is a very dangerous technology, I will say it. Very dangerous technology in the sense that the minerals, all the minerals, they are demineralized from the water. And what you are taking, you are taking the artificial water, I will say it, not the natural water. And that is why the arthritis, it is one of the very common disease. So the many things now what is happening, that they are changing. So these type of the science or the education industry, or you can say the universities, the institute like yours, the Oxford Institute of Engineering and Technology, Shobit Institute of Engineering and Technology, it is our responsibility to educate the students, to educate the public about the right things. It is that in the morning also I was saying that we should not be afraid of the government policies. We should not be afraid of speaking the truth, speaking the scientific truth in the public. This should be our duty to educate the right things to the public. The RO water, I say that I don't think that I am a supporter of Baba Ramdev ji, but the fact is this, that he is a person who propagated against these cold drinks, and these cold drinks were very, very dangerous to your stomach. They were creating the ulcers, they were creating the so many disease, and thanks to him that he used the word toilet cleaners for these cold drinks, and the many of the people or from many of the parties it was eliminated. So this is the I will say that this is the duty of the universities, higher education institutions, that we should rightly and correctly educate the people, and we should be vocal, and we should speak the scientific truths. So that is why the new technology, whatever it is coming, these technologies, they should be taken, but after thoroughly studying whether they are having the long-term sustainable effect on our body, sustainable effect in the ecosystem, in the nature. The agriculture biotechnology is another very important aspect, as Dr. Rao has also said, and in the morning also I had emphasized that the soil health, soil fertility, healthy soil, healthy air, healthy water, if you can make these three things healthy, which is under your control, then environment will be healthy. And if the environment is healthy, then you will be healthy. And all these things, it will be agriculture biotechnology. I will not focus much on this, because the agriculture biotechnology in 2050 will not change much, because already you will find that already the many of the varieties, they have been produced by the plant breeders. Thanks to them, that in 1970s we were importing the food, and when our population was only 35 million, and now 35 crore हमारी population थी, तब हम import करते थे. आज हमारी 139 crore population है, और उसके बाद we are able to export. So thanks and salute to the agriculture scientists, that they have done a wonderful job. Thanks to the farmers, that during these 50 years the cultivable land has reduced, but the production has increased, and that is all because of the agricultural biotechnology. That is all because of the new varieties, all which have been produced. But the only thing is that now we have to focus on the quality product. We have to focus on the nutrients. Now this will be the science, that in the next 30 years you will find that the agriculture biotechnology will focus on the quality, on the nutritious food. That is why now you will find that the most of the emphasis that is on the microbial insecticides, microbial biofertilizers, organic farming, and so the agriculture science, it will play a great role in the cloning of the plant technologies. I'm not very keen about the genetically modified organisms, or the sale of the genetically modified organisms in a country like India. But you know that the plant breeders, what they are doing, this is also genetically modified, but these are naturally genetically modified. That is, they have used the natural biosystem, natural genetical stock to transfer the genes from one crop to other, and they have been. So this is the successful. So I appreciate the vision of the government of India and the policy of the government of India, that they have not still allowed the genetically modified crops to be propagated in India. The genetical plant breeders, they are doing the job, wonderful job, and the plant breeding will be the one of and I would like to say here that in the next 30 years, in 2050, now those agriculture scientists will focus on such type of the crops which can be grown under the climate change. Climate change is taking place. We, India, is having the 15 different agroclimatic zones, and these 15 different agroclimatic zones throughout, you will not find any in any other country. So the India is a diverse country, diverse, agriculturally diverse country, naturally diverse country, and we can produce almost any type of the food material, any type of the plant, any type of the biodiversity, any type of the organism we can cultivate in India. We can grow in India. We can multiply in India. So the India will be a big country in 2050, and the agriculture will play a great role. The only thing is that if we have to improve the income of the farmers, double, triple, or 4 times or 5 times, then we will have to focus on export-oriented agriculture, herbal medicines, herbal plants, Ayurveda. We will have to focus on Ayurveda. Ayurveda is our legacy. We have so much biodiversity. We have so much knowledge about the Ayurveda that need to be consolidated, that need to be patented, that need to be focused. And the government, if the government focus on agriculture alone, I am sure that the government, if it focused for 2 years, only for 2 years complete on agriculture, in the same way as the government focused for 1 year on treatment or on control of the coronavirus. In the same way, if the entire machinery of the government focused on the agriculture and the export of the agriculture product, if within 3-4 years we will touch the more than 5 trillion economy in the world. In Vedic period, our contribution to the world economy was 30%, and now unfortunately our contribution has gone down to 3%. And what is the reason? The reason is only the neglect of the agriculture. Neglect of agriculture. If we focus on that, we should realize our strength. And if we realize our strength in agriculture, because of the 15 different agroclimatic zones, that is the most important thing, which the many of the planners, they are not focusing on that. So the diagnostic tools, it is the another thing. You have seen that the early treatment is the best solution for preventing the disease. Biosensors, food testing using the biosensors, this is going to play a great role. Biosensors, diagnosis by using the biosensors, diagnosis using the molecular techniques, molecular biotechnology, it is going to make a big role in the medical biotechnology. So this is these are the few applications which are going to change. These are some of the, I will go quickly because I find that only 15 minutes are left for me, and maybe that ethanol production using new strains, these are the models, critical things. Most of you already know the things. So I will just go quickly that the microbial cells production by using the biotechnology, vinegar and other biopreservatives production, because you know that now there is going to be a time when the chemical preservatives will be eliminated from the food industry. Chemical preservatives are very dangerous. Vinegar, lactic acid bacteria, and the other things will come into in the market, and they will be able to give the biopreservatives, the food materials. Industrial production of the biomolecules like food grade acetic acid, citric acid, organic acids, and several other acids. It will be in the 2050. Major organic acids, but they are being produced at present, and further other acids will be microbial fermentation of the milk and the milk products. This is going to be a big change, because you know that India is one of the largest milk producers, and the milk products, fermented milk products, are the less in India. So if you will find that by 2050, you will find there will be so many Amul industries like that, Parag industries like that, which will focus on the fermentation of the microbial fermentation of the milk, and the various milk products will be produced. These are the several bacteria, several species which are known today. They will be improved, and the people will work on that. Microbial proteins as biomass, it will be the another source, because the source of the low cost protein for the human food and for animal feed, and this will be also the one of the great thing. Microbial single cell protein, the several microorganisms, they are presently known, and the more and more microbes will be known, and microbiology will play a great role. The various habitats will be investigated, from where only, you know, that only we know only the 1% of the microbes. 99% of the microbes still are not known. So don't think that everything in the scientific principles it is known to the men. No, microbiology is totally unexplored area. Only 1% of the microbes are known, and out of these 1%, only 25% of the microbes are cultured. So you can see that the culture of the microbes is one of the biggest challenge. Isolation of the microbes is another challenge. Identification of the microbes is another challenge. And then the exploitation of the application of the microbes is another challenge. Single cell protein corn, you will find that still it is now available in India also. Fusarium, gramineum, mycelial proteins. This will be the fungal production, water reclamation plants. These are going to be in the big way. Primary and secondary microbial metabolites, several things, whatever you can think of, they all will be produced from the microbes by the microbial processes. The microbial products, microbial metabolites, amino acids production will be for the customized health food. Suppose if a person is suffering from depression, or suffering from some disease, or he needs some type of the amino acids, alanine or glutamine or cysteine or tryptophan or aspartame. So that type of the food will be produced, and that type of the food, customized food, will be available. Functional food, I can say it, that the functional food will be the most important part of the diet in next 30 years. By 2050, the most of the disease will be treated using the food. Even now, you will find, I have read in some of the research papers that some of the people, they are still treating the cancer-like disease with the food. I was reading one of the research paper just last week, that the medical doctors, they said him that he cannot be treated, and then he just focused on the diet, just focused on the different type of the foods, different type of the fruits, and on antioxidants, and on several things, and he has been cured. So the many citric acid, streptomycin, antibiotics, it will play a great role. Microbial enzyme applications, several type of the enzymes. This will be in the food, baking, paper, starch, pharmaceutical, several industries. It will have microbial enzymes, different enzyme applications. In 2050, the different enzymes will be used in different applications. Chemolithotropes will be the another thing, that the sulfur, iron, or heavy metals, all these things will be concentrated, will be bioaccumulated using the microbes, and they will be used. Microbial mining, that is the thing, will be in the 2050. Biobutanol, bioethanol will be the answer in the 2050. Cyanobacteria as food and fertilizer, that will also be cultured and grown in the industries, large industries, and they will be used as the food. And you know that the cyanobacteria, they are also having a very good phycobilins and phycocyanins, which are having the great medical potential. The algal oil production will be the one of the answer in the next 2050. The algae will be cultured for the production of the oil, and the spirulina will be the answer. Edible microbes like algae, bacteria, yeast, they will also be used, and they will be they will be the answer. The antibiotics and antimicrobials, this will be the industry. In this case also, you will find several things. Gut permeability and depression. This is now, I would just like to focus on some of the things which we are doing at present in the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology. Because as I was discussing in the morning, that the gut microbiome, you may eat the good nutrients, good food, good everything, but if it is not digested, what will happen? It will go out. So the digestion of the food is very important. Even if you get सूखी roti भी अगर आप खाएंगे, and if it is digested well, then it will give you the good nutrients. और आप हलवा, पूरी, मलाई, रसगुल्ला सब खा लीजिए, and if it is not digested, then it will go out. So the digestion is one of the most important thing, and the entire digestion is under the control of the gut microbiome. And the gut microbiome, it is to be controlled, it is to be checked. And until now, आप देखते हैं कि most of the scientific principles you might have read that all the signals, they go from brain to the everything. It is the science, or these are the principles what you might have read until now. But recently, during the last 3-4 years, the scientists, microbiologists, they have confirmed scientifically that the signals go from stomach to the brain, and in the stomach, from the where the stomach, in the stomach, the signals from the microbes. एक हम वैदिक कहावत है हमारी पुराने जमाने की, जैसा अन्न वैसा मन. Yes, this is true. Whatever the food you will eat, they will control the microbes, they will control the same type of the microbial population, and whatever will be the microbial population of your gut, that will control your brain. So this is going to make a big change in the 2050. Gut is responsible for the immunity. You might have seen that the 70% of the immune system, it is in the gut. So the gut has to be controlled. Communities, microbiomes, this is the one of the most important aspect which is going to be focused in the next 30 years. And the gut microbiome, or the you just see that this is the genomics, and the scientists, they have been able to found a large number of the bacteria in the gut using the genomics. This is a paper published in the Nature Biotechnology. Now you will see that here you see the bifidobacterium. Bifidobacterium is one of the most important bacterium here. This bacterium, this Bifidobacterium adolescentis. Now, if the population of this Bifidobacterium are good enough, if you are able to control these Bifidobacterium populations, then this Bifidobacterium, it has been known and it has been found that it is able to produce the butyric acid, the short chain fatty acid. And this butyric acid is responsible for creating the happiness. That is the one of the thing. So if using the diet, you are able to increase the population of the Bifidobacterium, then what? And another is the Fujicatinibacter. This is and another is the Faecalibacterium. These are the three bacteria: Faecalibacterium, Fujicatinibacter, and the Bifidobacterium. These three bacteria, if you are able to produce, if you are able to increase the populations of these three bacteria, then you can induce the happiness in a person. Butyrate producing Faecalibacterium and Coprococcus. Coprococcus, it is published also in 2019 in Nature Microbiology. And this bacteria, if these populations can be increased, then you can treat the depressed patients. Lactic acid bacteria and probiotics. This is going to change the entire scenario in the food microbiology or the food biotechnology. Lactobacillus, Streptococcus, and the Pediococcus, Lactococcus. These bacteria, they will be able to help as a good good food material. Lactococcal products can be produced. This will be the future biotechnology. Grass, that is generally regarded as safe. The lactic acid bacteria, these are the Organism Bacillus subtilis, Lactobacillus, Candida utilis. These are the organisms which will be cultured, grown, and used in the biotechnological industry in 2050. Thanks. Diet will control your microbial populations. Microbes will control your health, habit, and environment. Agriculture, Ayurveda, and yoga will dominate in 2050. Thanks for listening. I hope that I have not taken much time, but Still there are few minutes for the questions. If I am able to answer, it will be my pleasure. So I stop sharing and hope that I have been able to communicate my ideas to you. Although this was such a big topic that I needed a much more time, but I was asked to close my lecture by 3:30. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk with the brilliant participants. Hope that you have followed me. No reaction is coming. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Participants, please post your queries in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and talk to sir.
I think that the people have not followed me. Was I too fast?
Sir, can you brief us something about extremophiles?
Yes, extremophiles, because these are going to be going to be used in big way in 2050, because still now you will find that the microbes which can be cultured and grown under extreme conditions. The only question is that these extremophiles, they need the special type of the substrates. So if the genome from these extremophiles can be transferred to the E. coli or Saccharomyces cerevisiae, then they can be exploited for the biotechnological application. This is the application part. But the extremophiles, you know that they are having the wonderful and versatile genome. You can take the example of the lactic acid bacteria. They are also the extremophiles. They can grow and they survive at a very low temperature, very low pH. And if when you grow them, that on MRS agar medium or MRS liquid broth medium, you don't worry about the contamination. And they are producing the wonderful substrates. The only thing is that they need the special type of the nutrients. We have to focus on such type of the things, that how these extremophiles can be cultured and grown on simple substrates, simple culture media, and so that it can be commercially viable. The only thing you know in biotechnology, the only thing is that the raw material. Our raw material must be the cheapest. If whatever will be the cost of the raw material, that will add to the value. The process doesn't add. Process, that is the one-time investment. That is the one-time investment, and the only thing is the raw material. So if you are able to use the cheap raw material, and for the extremophiles it is difficult. So that is why now what the scientists are doing, that they are trying to manipulate the genes from the extremophiles into the Saccharomyces cerevisiae or E. coli, but the challenge is in the expression. But slowly and slowly now the techniques, when these techniques are being advanced, then I predict that by 2030, the many of the extremophiles, their genome will be cloned into these Saccharomyces cerevisiae or E. coli or some other biotechnological microbes. You can say that these are no more the simple E. coli. Is now that is not that E. coli which is the original one. The industrial E. coli is different. Industrial Saccharomyces cerevisiae is different. That is, it grows on the simple substrate. So that is the science of what it is predicting. That in next 30 years, the extremophiles will be targeted by the scientists, and their genome will be expressed in the simple cells, simple biotechnological single cells, and then it will be exploited. Because if they try to use this extremophiles as such for the culture, for the biotechnology purpose, then they need the special substrate or special conditions. And these special substrate and special conditions, these are expensive. And if any product of biotechnological use is expensive, then it will not be accepted by the common person. And if it is not accepted by the common person, then no future. I told you in the very beginning that any process using the biological tool which can make money is biotechnology. It can be a biotechnology by the definition of the others, but my definition would say that if it is able to make money, then it is biotechnology, otherwise no.
So we have another question.
Yes.
Sir, how microbes control oil pollution? What are the microbes that control this?
How microbes control
oil pollution?
Oil pollution. This is the bioremediation simple that many you know the Anand Mohan Chakrabarty. He was the first who produced this Pseudomonas putida, and unfortunately he was a very good friend of mine. And last year on 12th of July 2020, he expired, and he was honored by Government of India by the Padma Shri. Also, he was the first person who got patented the microbes and microbes, that is the Pseudomonas putida. And now the several microbes, they have been found: Pseudomonas species, Aspergillus species, Cladosporium species, and the Bacillus species, and several bacteria and several fungi. They are able to degrade the hydrocarbons and the petrol. And one of my research students, she is working at present on the degradation of this oil spills at the in the petrol stations, on the जहाँ से पेट्रोल भरते हैं पेट्रोल पंप से. From there, she has collected the soil and she has tried to isolate. So the 3 species of the Aspergillus we have isolated, and the 2 actinomycetes we have isolated, and we are still working on that. What is the process? They secrete the enzymes, and these enzymes are then able to degrade these hydrocarbons. Every organism, whether it is fungus, whether it is bacteria, they all consume the polymers, and these polymers are broken down by the action of the enzymes, and these oligomers and monomers are consumed as an energy source for the growth and development of the microbe. This is the basic metabolism, basic philosophy of the microbe. Or basically, you see that several microbes will be able to degrade oil, but some of them will be able to utilize the oil as the sole carbon source, will be able to grow and sporulate. Growth and sporulation, these 2 are the very important, and the growth fast. And the faster growth will depend upon the production of the higher amount of the enzyme. And most of the bacteria or the fungi, they are having the genes there, and these genes, they switch over, they switch on. I will say they switch on whenever they get that type of the material, that type of the polymer in the environment, and to degrade that polymer in the environment, they start secreting the enzyme. The genes are switched on. Otherwise, these genes, they remain idle. The basic simple समझ लीजिए आप. Whenever you are having in the environment, say for example, 10 different type of the biomolecules, and there are, say for example, 2 microbes. Now these 2 microbes will utilize that biomolecule first, where it will have to spend less energy. And when this biomolecule will finish, then it will start secreting the another enzyme, another type of the metabolism, which will be consumed with some more energy. So whenever you want to isolate any of the compound degrading, then you just supply only and only that particular type of the of the polymer. If you want to isolate the oil degrading bacteria, you take the oil and try to isolate the microbes from the soil or from the air or from that industry where the oil spill is there, and give only the oil, no other material. Then only the bacteria which will be able to degrade the oil, they will grow, and then you can isolate easily. That is the best technique or best application for isolation of any type of the organism, whatever you like. Yes, any more questions?
So that is it. We will close with the questions. Thank you, sir, for your detailed talk on BT 2050. So at the outset, on behalf of management, principal, HOD, staff and students, I take this privilege to extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Garg for taking time out and giving us an insight into the set topic of microbiology and lower science. Sir, I hope the participants have received well the information that was given by you. So thank you once again, sir, for being part of this SSTP program. Thank you. Dear participants, we have posted the feedback form on the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form for today's session.
So thank you very much. Thank you. And my pleasure to join with you people on this great platform, and see you sometime again.
Thank you so much, sir.
Dear participants, officially we are closing the session now. Please rejoin us for the next day, tomorrow morning session, sharply at 9:30 a.m. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, my pleasure. Thanks. I hope that, because I started 10 minutes late, so I took 10 minutes more. But I took 1.5 hours. Thank you very much. Thank you.